So in the last video, we finally put a price tag on trading. The spread you pay on every single trade, and the liquidity that decides whether that cost is tiny or painful. And the whole point of that lesson was simple. The deep, liquid majors are the cheapest and cleanest place to be. But the majors is still a group of 7 currencies, wearing 7 very different faces. So starting right now, we stop talking about the market as one big thing, and start meeting these pairs one personality at a time. And we're kicking it off with the two that almost every beginner lands on first, EURUSD and GBPUSD. On the surface, they look like twins. Both are majors, both are traded against the dollar, both are wildly liquid. But their temperaments couldn't be more different. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how each one behaves, why one feels calm and the other feels fast, and which of the two actually belongs under a beginner's hands first, the patient one or the wild one. So, if this kind of content helps you, take a second to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so the next lessons reach you the moment they go live. And feel free to share in the comments which topics you would like us to explore in future videos. And if you want to support the channel on a deeper level, consider becoming a member to unlock exclusive content and help keep these lessons coming. You'll also find links to our trusted partners in the description below. Using them costs you nothing, and it directly helps the channel keep producing free educational content like this. So let's start with what these two pairs actually are, because that's where their whole personality comes from. EURUSD is the euro measured against the US dollar, the two biggest economies on the planet facing off in a single price. GBPUSD is the British pound measured against that same dollar. Same dollar on the right side of both, but a very different currency on the left. And that one difference on the left is what gives each pair its character. Let's meet EURUSD first, because it's the headliner of the entire Forex market. It's the single most traded pair in the world, the one every broker quotes, every chart references, and every beginner sees on day one. Some traders even nickname it Fiber, but you don't need the nickname to remember it. Just remember it's the busiest street in the whole market. And because it's the busiest, it's also the deepest. Remember our liquidity lesson? EURUSD has more buyers and sellers active at any moment than anything else out there. That depth is exactly why it carries the tightest spread on the planet, often a fraction of a single pip. So right away, EURUSD is the cheapest door you can walk through, and the one where your fills come back cleanest, with the least slippage. Every advantage we talked about last time, this pair has it in the largest possible dose. But the real gift of all that liquidity is how it feels to trade. EURUSD tends to move in a calm, orderly way. It walks rather than sprints. The candles are generally smaller, the swings are more measured, and price usually respects levels instead of blasting straight through them. For someone still learning to read a chart, that steadiness is priceless. Think of EURUSD as the patient teacher of the Forex world. It rarely does anything shocking. It gives you time to see a setup forming, time to think, and time to react without your heart pounding. When you're brand new, the last thing you need is a market that punishes every second of hesitation. EURUSD forgives hesitation. That's the whole point. Now, there is a flip side to all that calm, and I won't hide it from you. That same steadiness can feel slow, sometimes downright boring. EURUSD can drift sideways for hours, barely twitching, while you sit there waiting for something to happen. If you came to trading for adrenaline, this pair will test your patience. But here's the thing. For a beginner, boring is not a bug. It's a feature. Boring is where you learn without getting hurt. So that's the calm one. Now let's meet its loud, fast cousin, GBPUSD. This is the pound against the dollar, and it comes with the most famous nickname in all of Forex, Cable. That name is a genuine piece of history. It goes back to the 1800s, when the exchange rate between London and New York was sent back and forth through a giant telegraph cable running along the floor of the Atlantic Ocean. Traders have called it cable ever since. But cable didn't earn its reputation from the name. It earned it from the way it moves. GBPUSD is still a top-tier, highly liquid major, so its spread is tight and its execution is clean. But it is noticeably more volatile than EURUSD. On a typical day, it travels a bigger distance, its candles are larger, and it's far more prone to sharp, sudden spikes that appear out of nowhere. So what does that speed actually feel like at the screen? It feels alive. The moves are bigger, they happen faster, and you find out whether you were right or wrong in a hurry. When cable trends, it can be a beautiful thing to ride. But when it turns against you, it turns fast, and it can be through your stop loss before you've even finished second-guessing yourself. And there's a reason cable is so jumpy in the first place. The pound has a reputation for reacting hard to headlines. A Bank of England decision, a surprise number out of the UK, a political story out of London. And it tends to react with sudden, violent bursts, rather than a gentle drift. EURUSD reacts to news too, of course, but the euro sits on top of a huge, diversified block, so its reactions are usually more absorbed and measured. The pound is a smaller, sharper animal. We'll dig into how news reshapes any pair much later in the series. For now, just file it away as part of cable's temperament. And that speed carries a hidden demand. Bigger moves need more breathing room. Because cable swings harder, a stop placed too tight gets knocked out by ordinary noise. The pair was never even going against your idea, it just wobbled. Now, exactly how you place that stop and size the trade around it belongs to risk management, and that's the home turf of our trading psychology course, not this one. But you need to know the demand exists. Cable asks more of your nerves and your risk plan than EURUSD ever will. So let's put the two personalities side by side, because this is the heart of the whole video. EURUSD is the calm, patient teacher. Cheap, steady, forgiving, and slow enough to let you think. GBPUSD is the fast, temperamental athlete. Just as liquid, but bigger, quicker, and far less forgiving of a shaky hand. Neither one is better. They're simply two different tools that ask two very different things from the person holding them. And once you frame it that way, the answer for a beginner almost writes itself. When you're learning, you want the pair that gives you the most room to make mistakes cheaply. You want tight costs, so a wrong trade barely stings. You want orderly movement, so the chart actually teaches you something, instead of just scaring you. You want time to think. On every one of those counts, EURUSD wins, which is exactly why it's the pair the whole world points beginners toward. There's a quieter reason too. Because EURUSD is the most watched pair on Earth, it also tends to be the most technically well-behaved. All those participants reading the same levels make its support and resistance cleaner, and its patterns more reliable. When a level matters on EURUSD, enough people are watching it that price actually respects it, which is exactly what you want while your eyes are still being trained. So almost every tutorial, every example, every lesson you'll ever study is built on an EURUSD chart. Learning on it means the whole world is speaking your language. So does that mean you should never touch cable? Not at all. GBPUSD isn't a trap. It's a pair you grow into. Once you've built real structure in how you read the market and real discipline in how you manage risk, that extra volatility stops being a threat and becomes opportunity. Bigger moves mean bigger potential when you actually know what you're doing. Cable isn't off limits. It's just something you earn your way up to, not where you start. And let me be honest about the edge of this video, because it matters. Choosing your pair is not the same as choosing your entry. This lesson is about temperament. Which market's personality fits a beginner's wallet and nerves? The actual how of spotting a trade, drawing your levels, and pulling the trigger lives inside our technical analysis course. Here, we're just making sure you pick the right practice field before you ever step onto it. So here's something practical you can do the second this video ends. Open your platform and pull up both pairs on the same time frame, right next to each other. First, glance at the two spreads. You'll usually see EURUSD sitting a touch tighter than cable. Then watch the candles for a few minutes. Notice how EURUSD tends to breathe slowly and evenly, while GBPUSD jumps in bigger, sharper steps. You'll feel the difference in their personalities with your own eyes, and it'll stick far better than anything I could tell you. So let's bring it home and answer the question we started with. EURUSD or GBPUSD? Where should a beginner start? Start with EURUSD. It's the deepest, cheapest, and calmest of all the majors, which makes it the most forgiving place on Earth to learn how price actually moves. GBPUSD's speed isn't better or worse, it's simply more than a beginner needs. And its volatility is opportunity you grow into once your structure and your risk control are solid. Learn to walk on the calm pair first. You can always run on cable later. So we've met the first two of our 7 majors, and already you can feel how much personality is packed into these currencies. In the next video, we're going to meet a very different kind of pair, the so-called safe havens, USD JPY and USD CHF. Why does money rush into the yen and the Swiss franc the moment the world gets scared? And what really makes them move? That's next. I'll see you there, trader. So, trader, if this video brought you more clarity, like it, subscribe, and turn on notifications so the next lessons reach you. And tell me in the comments what you want me to cover next. And if you want to go deeper, you can become a member of the ComLucro trader community right here on YouTube. It unlocks exclusive content, early access, and extra tools for your development, while directly supporting the channel. You'll also find our trusted partners linked in the description. Using those links costs you nothing and helps us keep producing this kind of educational content. And remember, the mission of the ComLucro channel is simple. We help traders build clarity, confidence, and structure, so every decision is made with discipline and intention. Here you'll find complete courses built as a true trading masterclass. Liquidity, market structure, higher time frame analysis, and supply and demand. Always focused on reading price and executing with a professional mindset. We also cover trading psychology, risk management, and long-term consistency. Because trading isn't just about charts, it's about mindset, discipline, and execution over time. Our main courses include smart money concepts, ICT, technical analysis, trading psychology, and Wyckoff. Alongside that, we share insights from respected traders whose work helps you understand how markets really behave. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.